It's 9 o'clock. Is it all right if we start? Okay, thank you very much. We'll start with the pledge and the moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we'll do a roll call. Bob is here, Lou is here, and Douglas is here. And we missed Bob last week, but he's back, so that's good, Bob. Public comments. Looks like nobody wants to say anything. Oh, excuse me, Joe, I didn't see you back here. Joe, you have 5 minutes.
Thank you and good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
Joe Herring, District 1. I believe I am. So that's
right now you are.
Right now I am. Couple comments. I wanted to address this last week, but Bob wasn't here, so there's a couple things at the end. One, first, Larry's been busy because Planning Commission meetings are now on YouTube. In case you guys didn't know that their minutes are going to change. That was announced at the Planning Commission meeting. They're going to be brief minutes with videos available. That was something that was made knowledge to me after the meeting, and I did pull it up and take a look at the video. It is there. So it wasn't announced during the meeting, but it's happening. So I would.
Does that change your behavior in the meeting?
No, it sure doesn't. It is good to know that I'm going
What
to
are
be
you
watched
trying
on
to tell us
YouTube.
here, Joe? That you're
I'm trying to tell you that is normally you get pretty precise minutes from downstairs, and that's stopped because of the video. They can't do that now. So we had a case that was there, and the normal procedure when you get approval from Planning Commission on a plat, does that go straight to the consent agenda? They weren't sure downstairs if mine was going straight there or not, so I know we like to take the plats to consent agenda if it has approval. I'm asking that if it's not, that you guys watch that meeting. And if you decide to put that on consent agenda, that'd be much appreciated. The family would much appreciate that. That doesn't come until the 30th. But that's the only way to get the true happenings of the meeting now is to watch it on video. So in case you didn't know that happened.
I didn't.
It did happen. So
I didn't either.
it is there. You can watch it 47 minutes.
We didn't get it because we're not here to micromanage.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yes, and it's nice of you to inform us because it didn't get to us. But now that it's there,
That's what I'm here for.
well, that's why I left my clock is on 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, the time clock.
Yes.
So I will find out what time that's on. No, it's I can select what time.
You can watch it
Yeah,
anytime.
so-
It's under, I had to find it. You have to go to the Board of County Commissioners
Yes.
page, go to the YouTube videos, and then they have the Planning Commission video underneath that.
Is that an hour meeting or is it a 2-hour meeting? What?
It was only 47 minutes, I believe.
47 minutes.
47 minutes.
That's
It was
good.
a rather
Okay.
quick one.
Very
So,
good.
I'd ask you to look at that, and I'd appreciate if that was on the consent agenda for the family request, and you'll understand when you see the family name.
How many meetings have been on there? Just
This
one?
very first
First
one.
Okay.
Is that correct? Very first one? Yes.
Okay.
So my other concern is something that happened in here a couple weeks ago that I wasn't sure why it happened, but it did. A lot of times when we have plats and developments come up before you, we want to talk about it because we have a disagreement with an office in the basement. Doesn't matter which office, but there is an item that may be interpreted differently between staff and developers, or property owners, or taxpayers. Normally I know you want to follow staff recommendations and you want to they're paid professionals. But I was kind of taken back when the developer and the property owner was not allowed to speak on their project. And I just want to know proper protocol. If we don't agree with something, whether it's a technical design issue or a interpretation of a regulation, to get that right, do we have to bring that up in the open meeting, open agenda before it and request that we get that right to talk, or how's that happen now?
Well, I think that the staff report was that there was no need of them, or we didn't have to put it on.
Right, it said,
It said right up at the
no,
top.
public comments not required.
Public hearing?
Right,
Public hearing.
public hearing.
Yeah.
Public hearing was not
Plats
required.
Plats aren't public hearings.
Yeah, and that was we would ask for them to speak if it was public hearing.
Right, but all plats in general are not public hearings, so they don't get that right. I'm asking, when there is a disagreement in a policy or a regulation or a interpretation of a rule, which they had, it was not my case, but I'm talking about my future cases that I bring in front of here. I want to know my proper protocol. Do I need to request that prior to my case being heard,
I guess.
so I get the right to talk on my client's behalf, or maybe it's my behalf?
I guess the board could approve that they can talk if they have a disagreement with staff.
Okay. I don't need an answer today.
I don't want to micromanage now.
Right.
So you need to bring that up with the county administrator.
Okay.
And he will look into that, and we'll have our attorney study that, and it'll probably take about 6 months for the attorney to get that decision. Now I'm operating off of Leavenworth City's operation.
So you're saying you won't be here then?
Oh, did I say that? But I would appreciate it if you would do that, because I remember,
I remember that happening, yes.
and it wasn't because we didn't want to listen to you whine and snivel and all that, Joe, because you usually have pretty good inputs.
That wasn't my case, so.
It wasn't his case.
Yeah, but you have good inputs.
Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah. I'll take that back if you don't want that, so.
No, I'll keep it.
Okay.
Few and far between.
But,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, that's just how do we do it so we know
Yeah.
that we can get that chance to talk?
Right.
Is my
Yeah.
question.
I agree.
And if staff or Mark would look
Yeah.
at that and give me an opinion back on how to properly do that, I'd appreciate that.
thank you, Joe. You come back in now. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to have a comment? Okay, that close the public comments. Next will be administrative business.
The only thing under administrative business is just remind you all that it's the Kansas Association of Counties meeting is yesterday, today, and tomorrow, if any of you had plans to go down there. I know Commissioner Smith.
Yesterday, and I'll be there
has
this
been there.
afternoon, and I'll be there tomorrow.
They usually schedule that towards the end of the week, but this time
Yeah,
around
this
it's the
time
first part of the
and
week.
it's usually
So
in November, so.
So we've got that taken care of. You'll be there.
I got it covered.
You going?
No.
Okay.
They had me registered as the executive secretary of Leavenworth County.
Executive secretary.
Well, I don't know. Are you
I was
gonna-
probably asked, I don't know how many times, aren't you the commissioner? I said, well, yeah. I walked around, I know all these people. And finally, somebody pointed it out to me. So,
Are you going to relinquish that position and go
So-
sit in his seat?
Yeah, I want Becky to go over there and
well,
sit in his
I
seat.
told everybody, well, I think that job pays more. So I'll take it. So, but anyways, yes, I will attend the conference all 3 days.
Very good. Appreciate that. Okay. And that's it for,
Part-time, right?
Yes, sir. And I will make Linwood City Council meeting tonight, and I made Tonganoxie City Council meeting last night, and I'll make Bacers tomorrow night. So,
Well, just
yeah,
keep-
that's my part-time job.
just keep the clock going. I just told Becky, just keep the clock going. Don't shut it off. Anything else from administrative business?
no, sir.
We'll have some stuff at the end, I'm sure. Next will be the consent agenda, approval of the minutes. Anybody have anything on that?
I do not.
Other than the diatribe right there in the middle where Clemp asked about County Road moratorium, number one moratorium, the land study, the master plan. Two firms are providing proposals. I noticed in one of the papers they were talking about that's extremely important. It'd be interesting to see what the price tags are. I did comment again because it was in the paper. It's our responsibility, we the county, for mental health. I don't know where this is coming from. Now, that's fine. I don't mind doing that. We'll just quit doing roads. Quit doing bridges. I think it's a school problem, it's a city problem, it's a state problem, and it possibly is a county problem. But don't shove it off on us for us to increase our mill levy so you look good, cities, schools, or anybody else. Now, if anybody gets offended by that remark, they have their own problem. Schedule for next week. Anything there?
No, I can make everything.
Okay.
I will be at the Workforce Partnership and at the Mark Budget Personnel Committee meeting, and so I imagine Doug will be.
Yeah, I'll be there, and we'll have our night meeting, and
We'll have
Very
a night
good.
meeting, and so Mark will be covered by two commissioners.
Very good. What if I want to go? I can't go then?
Yeah, you can go.
No, I don't want to.
you can take my place.
Nope.
Bye.
No, I'm not taking anybody's place.
All right.
You're doing very good jobs down there, except you're not getting us any money. Okay, the next item will be approval of the check register. I'm sure you've got a comment on that now.
Oh, man.
Oh, God.
I looked at the last check register. There was a lot of legal fees paid.
Oh, love those legal fees. And
Yeah.
notice that a lot of that was in the paper.
Yes.
We should have bowed down and kissed the rings and paid the ladies off. Yeah. That's what's wrong with the system today. We got all these attorneys at the school level, the city level, and every level that says, pay them off, it's cheaper. So there's never a stop to the payoffs. If you've done something wrong, in the opinion of the governing board of that entity, you spend the money to prove that they are wrong. That's what's wrong at the federal level, and that's what's wrong at the state level, county, the city, the school districts. We got a lot of levels that have problems because everybody says, oh, just pay them off, pay them off. So, did you want to make an announcement? It was $185,000? Wow, isn't that great? But there was no paying on roads, really.
But,
We had a mild month this
do you
year.
realize, Louis, though, if we would have paid them off, we would have had $1 million still in the coffers.
You know what? When it comes to something that you think is wrong, you're going to throw away your principles and everything else to say, yeah, let's just pay them off. I know of so many cases at the...
But I don't think it's, I disagree with you on that. I mean, I've disagreed with you through this whole trial portion of it.
Well, after my deposition, which I revealed a little bit of it last week, no, that proved to me that two of us were right and one's wrong. Now, I don't know which one you want to be and which one Doug wants to be, but we won't talk about that today.
Okay.
Because we got other things we got to vote on and keep our personalities focused.
Commissioner, there is some money for roads here.
Oh, basically nothing.
Well, but I mean, you said there was nothing in here for roads, but there is.
I said not much for roads.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, none of the 65 or 100 and some thousand dollars.
No.
No, because it'd be way over 100. So that was good.
Okay.
We're keeping up on the road so we don't have that expense.
Okay.
Any OCBs? That's disappointing. Other than that, I will take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
Moved and seconded. No discussion. How do you vote?
Aye.
Doug? Aye.
Aye.
Very good. Next item, and I had a lot of complaints this week
You did.
that we got done way too fast.
Oh,
They said they,
I do have to be in Overland Park here for the commission breakout sessions here
what time you have to be there?
around noon.
Oh,
A
we'll
little
get,
before would help if I want to eat lunch here. So.
okay. Formal board action. It says emergency management performance grant. Is that public work? Oh, that's Chuck. Okay, Chuck.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the Commission. I come before you today that our annual grant that we get through the Federal Emergency Management Agency for our Emergency Management Performance Grant. This is a grant that we apply for, like I said, every year. It's a 50% match, which we will exceed that with just our salaries within emergency management. We're seeking for $60,000 this year. That's what we asked for last year, and we were awarded for the last 3 years. But that helps our organization for family preparedness programs, our volunteering staff, and exercising and planning. So I'm here to ask that the board allow the chairman to sign the application so we can get this off to the state of Kansas. It says administered through the state of Kansas, but it is a federal grant process.
Any questions by,
nope, it's been every year, I think, that I've been here that he's requested this. At one time, I thought some of this went to personnel.
It does, Commissioner, and that's why we have the $38,000 actually go towards a new personnel. That's what was in the budget for this year. We just haven't got to that point yet with.
But it wasn't in last year's budget.
That's correct.
Yeah.
well, I guess the question I have is it says a vacant new hire. Has that always been a vacant new hire, that position?
That is correct. That would be for planning and training assistant that we'd asked for that in our last year's budget for this year. With the transition over into the sheriff's office, we just haven't got to that position to bring forward. So it's state money. We wouldn't get the funding if we don't have the position, basically, is what it comes out to.
Okay, so we don't have to have it really in our budget, is what you're saying? Or is it in our budget?
It is in the budget right now for just the benefits side of it.
Okay. Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second it.
How do you vote?
Aye.
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 Thank you, Commissioners.
Is that
Thank you,
fast
Jack.
enough? Yeah, okay. Next item is,
Mr. Marlboro.
hi Larry, it's so nice to see you.
Good morning.
You know, usually when you're giving a presentation, you have a coat on, and I didn't recognize you out there.
I've caught too much grief over my attire, so.
Okay,
Trying to
no, I like
dress
that. As long as you do the professional job you do, I don't care what you wear.
All right.
Okay,
You heard him, Larry.
I'm before the board requesting authorization to proceed with purchasing equipment for district court. I had requested quotes from 4 companies, 2 responded. The lowest bidder was on contract pricing, which was requested, which was CDW for $73,945. I'm requesting the board authorize me to proceed with that purchase. It's from depreciation funds, 115 account. Those funds are available. I'm not asking for money, I'm just asking for the authorization to spend money.
well, that's good.
Do you feel this is a qualified bid? I mean,
Oh,
you feel good with
absolutely.
the low bid?
I requested exact part numbers from every company, so I didn't give them any wiggle room to come back with random equipment.
Right.
They had to bid exactly what I wanted.
Okay.
So I'm getting exactly what I believe district court needs, down to the very item.
Good, 'cause
And it is a competitive price.
sometimes low bids, not the way
I
to go.
understand.
Well, when you have two bidders and they're very close like these two are, I would say you did your job.
Yeah, it's competitive.
Yeah, there's not much money left on the table.
Rather scary to have them that close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Right. And the spec was pretty tight.
Yeah.
Well, I have some questions.
Absolutely.
When I look at analysis, workstations, 45, we're going to replace them 45 workstations.
Yes,
How long have they been there?
5 to 6 years.
5 or 6 years. Sort of like fire trucks, aren't they? We don't keep,
Probably worse.
we don't keep old fire trucks. We get rid of them.
I've seen one for sale out there.
Yeah, there is.
I'm not sure what we do with fire trucks, but
Oh, no.
computers do.
Well, it used to be in the old days, we kept them around a long time. Now, computers, could be something different because that's a weird group of people that operate with them and they fail all the time.
Correct.
That's displays, 77. I imagine that is a monitor. Is that what a display
Correct.
is?
Yes.
Okay. And 46 printers. That's a lot of printers.
Yes, it is.
That's for the whole courthouse, I guess? I mean,
For the whole district court. Yes.
whole district court. And scanners,
Yes.
33. So you're saying, I had written down here, budget, and you solved that one. Why are we having this replacement all the time? Is it age of equipment? We got the money there, so let's spend it.
It's age of equipment.
Age of equipment. And you
Yes.
say it's 6 years?
Well, we've used some longer than that, but that's normally not advisable. A lot of things happen over the life of a piece of equipment. The operating systems become obsolete. Everything starts to undermine the workstation. So it's not just the hardware, it's also the software. And the
Okay.
industry is such that it will not allow you to sit idly by for several years without paying for it. So we have to upgrade in order to stay current with operating systems, antivirus software, all the software intertwines, and it creates this situation that you can't use a computer forever until it fails hardware-wise. You have to move ahead.
Isn't that great? We've gotten into this, so every 6 years, we're going to spend 74,000 this year. Next, in 6 years, we'll spend 174,000. It's perpetual motion.
True, but I'm actually proud of the fact that we got 6 years out of them. Many organizations
Yeah, I agree
replace them
with
on a
that.
3-year schedule.
Yeah.
We've generally, over the years, tried to delay it as long as possible, so we've milked extra years out of this equipment.
And if you do that, you throw yourself in a bind sometimes because things
Yeah.
start failing.
Yes.
The workstations is really what bothered me.
How so?
How long has this been here, this dais?
The dais?
When they move up there.
2003, I believe, was the remodeling. You're talking about the?
Yeah, 15 years.
Yes.
15 years. So you'd think that part would last a little longer.
Workstation is the computer.
Oh, you're calling that the computer
Yes, it's
now?
just- it's just
Okay,
computer.
very good.
It's
Yeah,
not
you
the-
didn't say
it's
that.
not furniture.
Okay, now I'm in the definition. I'm getting into definitions. I got to learn all these definitions. Workstation.
The workstation
To me, a
was set
workstation
up-
is where I sit doing my work.
Correct, but
You
it's
know,
also what we call
but that-
computers.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not where the old manual typewriter used to sit.
I prefer to call them workstations instead of PCs because it denotes the word work. So it's to try to separate a computer at
Okay,
work from
there
a
you go.
computer at home.
See,
We
I
call it workstation.
I spent probably an extra 5-10 minutes on this at home, right, and you were confusing.
I'm sorry for the confusion.
No, that's all right. I love being confused.
I'd like
Yes, sir.
to ask him one question. What do you do with all the old stuff?
Well, in this particular situation, we intend to use a great deal of it over at Council on Aging. So
Oh,
we're going to
okay.
repurpose much of these computers because they're still slightly better than some of the equipment that we have at Council on Aging. They've inherited a lot of hand-me-downs over the years.
Yeah, I was just curious because, you know, you're saying over at the Justice Center that we have to replace these because they're obsolete. But then, what do we do with them then?
We're going to get a few more years out of them.
Oh, that's good.
we've done this a lot over the years that I've been here. Council on Aging sadly inherits a lot of old equipment.
Road
So
department used to get a whole bunch of it.
Yes. And we continue to do that where possible.
Thank God we got some young people with the Council on Aging, because I just got a good joke on internet the other day, and it all boiled down to this, the what do you call the specialist? He kept asking the caller about this subject, and it finally boiled down to, well, I don't know, I don't have any light. The power went off.
Power's off.
And then you send the message, well, take it all back, pack it up, take it back to the company, and just, if they ask you why, just say, I'm too damn dumb to know how to operate it.
I believe that's based on a true story.
Yeah, I think it is. Okay, so you need an approval?
Yes.
Would you like an approval?
Motion
I
to
would love
approve.
approval.
Motion to approve? Okay, we got it over here to the right. What else?
Motion is for the $73,945.
Yes.
That's his motion,
And
yeah.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. How do you vote?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Thank
Larry, you come
Larry.
back again. We always enjoy you. Next is David Luchin, Department Head of Public Works.
Morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, David. It's so nice to see you.
You too. Public Works is seeking approval for a change order for the 182nd Street project in the amount of $29,254. Quantities for culverts, riprap, asphalt, and erosion control mat were adjusted based on the project conditions. The RBA lists out the quantities for you, the total for each change. Total amount requested is $29,254.
What's the riprap for?
Around the end of, there's two crossroad pipes on that. One's, I think, a 36. We put a little more at the end of that, and then down at the big pipe, we put some more around that to help prevent erosion.
Okay.
You got another question?
Was this stuff that after the job was done, our guys could have done? We got a quarry full of riprap.
Well, we wanted to get it addressed now, so it's part of what our contractor is responsible for. We didn't want to wait until he was off-site and then have our guys come in and do it at a later time.
What'd the contract call for the erosion? I mean, it was just call for seeding and getting vegetation
On the
established.
mat, yeah, it didn't have any mat specified. So there were some slopes that we were concerned with. There's a couple areas where we steepened them to minimize the impact on the property owners. So those were pretty steep, so we wanted to get mat on those. And there was a few other areas that we were concerned with the length of the slope. So we wanted a mat to help get the grass established.
Okay. So they changed what the plans called for then?
Yeah, the plans didn't show any erosion control mat. They just called for silt fence, seeding, and mulch.
And let's see, driveway culverts.
Yeah, there was one driveway that wasn't shown on the plans. I assume it had been added after the survey was done. And then there was a couple that property owners had requested be extended for the, like, trailers and boats and things like that they pull in.
Or if you're through, I'll go to Robert.
Well, like I said, the riprap, I always thought the large culvert was too short because we had like a 72-foot culvert in there, and I don't think you put back a 50-something. We didn't need any riprap on that one.
We went back with a 54.
54, took out a 72.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head how long.
It was over 70 feet, I know that. We didn't have any erosion problems there.
Robert, do you have some questions?
No, I don't.
Well, I hate to, how about the administrator Do you approve of all this? Because I don't want to micromanage.
Mr. Luchin and I have went over this. I got numerous questions for him. The quantity change, some of them were related to redesign as the project was going. The ones that I had concern with were the driveways, why we didn't identify those before we let the project for bid. I know that this was designed several years ago, and I thought we probably should have went out and identified those prior to letting it out for bid. I mean, we should have, since it had been so long since we designed it, we probably should have went out and done a field inspection before we let it for bid, but we didn't. And those things have to be addressed. Obviously, we can't tear out somebody's asphalt driveway and put it back to rock. So he was able to answer those questions for me.
Did you guys have a pre-bid conference?
Pre-bid?
Yeah, pre-bid conference.
No, we didn't have a pre-bid, no.
Pre-construction meeting?
Yeah, I met with the contractor prior to starting construction, yes.
Well, the administrator sort of answered some of my questions. I had driveway culverts. Who drew up the plans?
They were prepared by previous staff.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is this road that was going to be done in '07 and
Well, it's only 11 years.
We have several projects that were started by previous staff that we are just now finishing up.
Okay, that's what I say. It was sort of cleared up. Always relate to things of the past. Sometimes you just can't look at the future. When we did the juvenile detention center over here, we had a lot of problems. The architect didn't include sealing off the furnace room in case there's a fire, that all the ducting didn't shut automatically when there's a fire, and my suggestion was to have the architect pay for it. And everybody said, oh, we can't do that. That's not right. So that one was answered, who drew up the plans. What, to change the size of the culvert. Now that bothers me.
Change
and we're
the
paying,
length of them.
We're paying the whole tab.
To what?
We're paying the whole tab. The owner does not pay anything?
No, we lengthened a few culverts to help the property owners.
Help the property owner. That's two people out of 76,000 people. Well, that's good. The asphalt driveways, I can understand that. We're tearing up asphalt, but the extension of the culverts sort of bothers me, but unless there's some more discussion.
can our guys put the asphalt down cheaper, or?
Well, again,
Or is this already done?
it's already done.
This is already done.
We wanted to get it done before they
Okay.
came in and.
So this really isn't a change order.
Yeah, no. It's an approval of a change order.
It's already happened.
Yeah.
It's after
The contractors already did the work.
Yeah. Well, if he's already done it, we don't have to pay it then, right?
Somebody had to authorize it. Wasn't us.
I'll entertain a motion to approve it, disapprove it, or what you want to do.
I'll make a motion to approve the change order for $29,254.
Did you want to second that?
No.
No? You know, I appreciate you wearing the Purple Heart Award we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll second it for discussion.
It was good because it was going to die. Okay, go ahead, discussion.
Change orders should come before us before they're done.
Okay? Any,
We've already, I mean.
But I know
it's
the
already
contractors
done.
already did the work.
It's already done the work. We can't penalize the guy. He's already done the work. We can't penalize, I mean, we can't make him pay for it. As we discussed before, on attorneys, we'll be in court. Because
Right.
he'll want his money. And
Okay.
then we'll have to, the judge is liable to say, pay his legal costs too.
Awarding the road.
what,
They
what
just
is,
have the road.
yeah, what is our job? And I don't want to get into your territory now. I don't want to micromanage. Our job is to set policy and to do the budget.
That's correct.
Yeah.
What's our policy?
Change order comes to us first. We approve it. So,
Just one item with that, it does take typically a week, week and a half, sometimes longer to get something before the board, so delaying a project, you're looking at possibly delaying projects if we have to bring any item over $5,000 has to come to the board on a project like this.
but we are not a city council or a city commission. They need a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We have a professional county administrator, and he would have had it here the next day. Okay? So, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nay.
Hey,
Okay.
could I make a motion to
Okay.
table this till we get some more information on this?
Okay, you want to second it?
We've already, yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, how do we backtrack it? I guess we just
Well,
back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're backtracking. We've already,
What
you've
additional
already
information
denied
would the
the-
board like?
What was the big rush on getting this done?
On getting the project done?
Well, I
The
mean,
board wanted the project done.
the board wanted a project. You know, we approved 150th Street in the first week of August to get asphalted, and I haven't seen any asphalt yet on that project.
No, the notice to proceed was issued, I believe, last week. The contractor was going to be out there the end of that last week or the first of this week. Supposed to be asphalting it this week. His working days are up November 1st.
Okay, we couldn't do the notice to proceed in August?
We work with the contractor on setting the start date, so, because they have projects they're working on, so we schedule things. If the board would like, we can start putting hard start dates and hard completion dates in our bid set, in our bid docs. I will advise what that will do is typically lead to higher prices. So we try to work with the contractor. The direction I felt I had from the board was to get 150th Street paved this year, and it will be paved this year.
Okay.
But that's like, they pulled off of McIntyre.
Well, but we're talking about getting higher prices. When there's a change order, there's a higher price.
Yeah. But and now they're supposedly back on McIntyre. Now they were off for what, month and a half?
They pulled off due to the water district, the
Yeah.
water line relocation.
They
They
stayed
had to
on
wait.
it.
But yes, they are back out there. They've been out there for
Yeah.
a month or more.
So, I like hard dates.
Yeah, if that's what the board would like, we can start putting hard start and finish dates in our plans or our bid docs.
Well, it cuts out a lot of loose parameters.
That's something we can definitely do.
Yeah.
If the board's concerned with getting things done by a certain date, then that's what we can address with our bid docs.
Well, theoretically, it may reduce the price on a bid, but,
It'll likely increase the price on your bid.
So do change orders.
well, it could go either way. You might have somebody that isn't so filled up, not bidding on it, and somebody that has some open time to bid on it because they know there's an opening. It's sort of like doing the road around the corner, you know? Well, let's let them go ahead and do the road around the corner because then we don't have equipment to be bringing in and all the, so that's something for us to discuss. Can you write that down? And we can discuss whether we want hard times.
Well, we can discuss that later, but right now, I
Right
guess.
now, you're wanting to look at it.
I'd like to make a motion on this change order. A two-part motion, I guess.
Well, should we go back and remove the other one?
I think you can reconsider it without removing your previous.
Okay.
A new motion supersedes the prior motion.
I'd like to move that we go ahead and pay the contractor for the work he's done, and that all change orders come before the board before they're done.
Wait a minute, that was just,
Second.
wasn't that the motion you did?
That's the motion I made, basically, but
that you had, that all change orders from here
Yes.
on out will come before the board before we.
Which you wanted to reconsider. I thought that's what your motion was before. You wanted to sit and look at it,
We-
and study it.
Well, the work's already been done.
Yeah,
You know, somebody at the county authorized the contractor to do it, so we can't penalize the contractor for
That's
this.
what I said.
yeah.
But I just would like all change orders to come to us before they're done.
I'll agree with that.
So is that a second?
That's a second.
Doug, how do you vote?
Aye.
Nay.
Aye.
Okay, the reason I'm voting nay, because I voted with your motion. So now we got two motions to, who cares?
Well, the
Pay the guy.
prior motion has, am I not right, David? Supersedes the motion that was,
Beg your pardon, Commissioners, the other way around. The prior motion is superseded by a subsequent motion.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay. So that takes care of Public Works, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Come back. Okay, next is presentations and discussion items. Who of the commissioners, other than me, have something they want?
Went to LCDC last, I had a question for David. Did he leave?
No, I don't.
LCDC, they were talking about, Federal Highway was going to provide money for Wyandotte County to put an R cut at Parallel.
Okay,
If you guys are familiar, I know Bob's familiar with the R cut.
Yeah.
And it's a 90-10, it's federal highway money. And I believe the city of Leavenworth wrote a letter to Unified Government in support of that. So I didn't know if David had any information on that or not. But that's all right. And,
Well, we could ask him to come back up. I mean, it's not that far.
okay.
Why don't you?
And, okay, so we'll move on. I went to VFW last Wednesday for that fundraiser for the police officer in Bayshore that got injured in the accident. Large, huge turnout, huge turnout. Like I said, went to the the conference yesterday. Went to city council meeting, Tonganoxie last night. They're getting ready to design a sewer to go out to the industrial park to get the design done and get started on that. And
Do they have enough capacity in their sewer system?
yes,
They do.
yes, and they're going to design something that's going to handle future growth out in that area.
Okay.
It's like $125,000 design. As soon as we get out of here, I'll go back to the conference, and then I'll go to Linwood tonight, Linwood City Council meeting, and then go back to the conference tomorrow and go to Bayshore City Council meeting tomorrow night.
have they started on the Linwood Center that we?
No, they're just transferring
Oh, the title.
the title to
Yeah.
the city, and I encouraged them to get started as quick as they could in
Yeah.
the first year. So we'll
Very
be talking
good.
about that, I'm sure, again tonight.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Other than-
Dave, when he comes back,
Yeah,
Bob. Well, I have about 6 items. I had the county administrator pull up, and did that just go to me? No, that
Mr.
went to the whole
Chairman,
board.
could I get David
Yes,
so he
we'll
can
do
get back to
David,
work?
yes.
Because I know he's
Yeah.
busy.
That way he can get back to work, yeah.
Hey, David, I went to LCDC last week and they were talking about the R cut on, Parallel, yeah. Is that the K7 corridor committee working on that or is it?
Yeah, I don't know where the corridor committee sits on it. Sarah attends those meetings, so I would have to follow up with her. But yeah, I know it was talked with the transportation group at LCDC had talked about it.
Okay, and it's federal, it's 90-10?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head what the
All right,
cost is.
well, Leavenworth said I believe they wrote a letter of support to Unified Government for it. Is there some issues that Unified Government doesn't want to do it, or?
Again,
Okay.
Sarah attends those meetings. I would have to
Okay. All
get
right.
those answers from her, so I don't tell you.
Well,
the wrong
what's your
information.
opinion?
of an R cut.
Yeah,
If it
should
gets
we
rid of
support it?
If it gets rid of a stoplight, I think that's a good thing.
Okay.
I do too.
Getting rid of stoplights on K7 is a good thing. Whatever we can do to do that.
Well, I mean, we wouldn't have to fund anything.
we're not gonna have to fund
Our
anything.
residents will benefit more than anything.
I wonder why the city of Leavenworth wrote something in favor.
Well, because
they-
the residents that are.
They're just like
gonna
what
help
David
out.
said.
Yeah.
They're
See, there's
trying
a-
to get rid of
there's
stoplights
a-
on 7.
And I'm sure there's people on the K7 corridor committee that's city
Mhm.
Leavenworth people.
Okay.
Yeah, there are.
And we, because I don't think, they're not gonna pay for flyovers on all these stoplights. They're too expensive.
Way too expensive.
So, do we need to write a letter of support to the unified government to try to get that?
It
or-
couldn't hurt anything.
Okay.
Should we have a brief from Sarah to answer some of your questions there?
Yeah. I
She
mean,
can-
because like I said, it's federal highway money, it's not, you don't want to turn it down. I think, like I said, our residents will benefit more than Wyandotte County residents will if you travel that road.
I think most people in Leavenworth County do travel that road.
I will here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
But we do have too many stoplights on.
Would you like Sarah to come next week, or when do you want her to?
Well, our next meeting's at night, but that'd be fine.
I can
If
just
she
have her,
could just get
I
us
can just have her
something.
write something up.
Yeah.
We can get to you.
Because I didn't know, like I said, if Wyandotte was against it, or unified government was against it, or for the city of Leavenworth to provide a letter of support. I didn't know if we needed to and all the others. 'Cause like I said, it'll benefit Leavenworth County residents more than Wyandotte. And that
Okay.
way we get to see what an R cut looks like and see if it's gonna be feasible.
So you asking the administrator to get in touch with Sarah? To get
If he would like, yes.
We'll get a briefing, and either have her come for the next meeting, give you an update, or provide something in writing.
Okay?
All right. All right, thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. I had asked the county administrator, because I knew it was protocol to go through the administrator, not direct other people. And it was and you should have got a copy of it. It was on Eisenhower Road. And what it was current schedule, utility relocation, November 2018 to May 2019. Advertised for bid, March 2019. Award bid, April 2019. Construction, May 2019. May 2021 finished. Sound like hard dates, don't they? The next one was a cash flow schedule. Utility relocation, same. Advertised for bids, March 28th, or March 2028. Award bid, April 2028. Construction, May 2028. Finished May 2030. Assumed $1.2 million per year to Eisenhower and $0.5 million for other road projects. Then there was a Mark funding schedule. And that's the reason I think it's time to test Mark. Not Mark Lowry, but Mark, M-A-R-C, Mid-America Regional Council. To me, you're going to go down there and have lunch, that's nice. I'll have to pay for mine here. But I don't see what they're doing for us. But it was Mark funding schedule. Utility relocation, same. Submit to Mark funding, April 2020. Advertising for bid, March 2023. Award bid, April 2023. Construction, May 2023 to May 2025. Assumed project receives funding from Mark after we submit our schedule. Now, what I thought was interesting, if the Board of County Commissioners decides to issue debt to proceed with construction, there was an estimate we will spend an additional $4 million on interest. Now, $4 million on interest for 76,000 people, that's at 200,000 a mile, and I'm going to put in two schedules here. That's 5, 10, 15, 20 miles. And at 300 a mile, That's, I think, 12. So I have yet to see, and I probably travel that road more than any of the other commissioners,
Eisenhower?
uh,
Eisenhower?
20th and Eisenhower.
Oh, God, I don't go down 20, but I go down Eisenhower every day.
Yeah. So do I.
I don't travel it much.
And I spend time on Eisenhower watching traffic, because I have a business.
Well, that's pretty much what you do when you drive, watch that traffic.
Well, but you only do it for transiting. I spend time
I hope
sitting.
you're watching traffic, because I drive that road.
Yeah. So I followed up on that, and I said, how about getting a hold of Lansing and see what the schedule for DeSoto is? They got 3 phases they're going to do on DeSoto.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we've already relieved them. We've helped them. We've done 155th Street. It's amazing the traffic that's on 155th now. They're really adjusting because they know the lights are going to go in. We don't know what.
It's got as much traffic as some of the gravel roads do in the 3rd district.
So we've got, and 1st District doesn't count because we don't do roads up there.
He got his AASHTO standard road.
Yeah, he got it.
No, that was Doug, and they got the AASHTO standards. I didn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised
So
at that.
the then next comes Ida, down to Ida with the road.
On 147th.
No, I guess it's
Yeah, DeSoto.
and then Holiday, or in 2020. Those are going to be the slowdowns.
It used to be County Road 11.
Yeah, those are going to be the slowdowns.
County Road 11? Never knew there was such a road.
That's it. Used to be County Route 11.
Yeah, you're talking about DeSoto. Yeah.
DeSoto Road, I've always known it.
So I don't see any real reason not to delay the project to at least after Mark responds. To go from 28 to 30, 2030, that may be a little long, but not really. They've only got, the majority of the traffic comes from the north and goes back to the north on Eisenhower and 20th. They've had a counter out there and they've come up with 6,500 go north and south and another 2,500 go east and west. So that isn't going to change that much. Riley's building houses, I understand that. Right now, I don't think it's going to interfere with the project. I hate wasting $4 million on interest for Eisenhower Road, which the city of Leavenworth should have done out to 20th Street when they did it, as far as they did it.
Once again, it's a county route. It's County Route 34.
Who cares?
Well, it's an FAS route.
They could have taken it on out to 20th. They took it down to 100.
They could have.
They took it down to 155th.
It would have had to. It would more than likely would have had to be some county funding too, to be eligible for any kind of a federal highway, because it is a county route.
What they do?
It's not just a city street.
What they do from 10th Avenue to 155th? Did they pay the whole amount? Did they get state money?
I don't know that.
See,
I can't.
that's what I'm saying.
They could have.
They took it all the way to 155th Street. They could have taken it another 2 blocks up to 20th, and we wouldn't have a lot of the situations. And the main one is wasting $4 million.
Yeah.
If the county people do not care that we're not going to do their roads and we're going to waste $4 million,
I am not for wasting $4 million.
well, that's what it's doing. So I would like to see at least the Mark approach to see if they're going to give us some money.
I agree.
So I'm going to do a motion.
Mr. Chairman, and Bob's been to a lot more Mark meetings than I have. The one thing that worries me about applying for money for Eisenhower is when all these projects are on the table, they're going to look and say, well, Leavenworth County voters have already voted to do this road. So why would we want to give them money when they've already voted to do this road?
Well, I'm going to change that, Doug. I'm going to say, you better give us some money or we're out of the program. That's what it ought to be. If you can tell, they're insignificant in my life.
Right.
We get $97 million on sales tax.
Mm-hmm.
We can handle all of our problems and all of our situations with Leavenworth, Lansing getting their money and Baser getting their money and Tonganoxie getting their money. Mark, you are worthless to us. You perform or we're out and you don't get our clean air aspect and everything else that we give you.
But, so how do we approach applying for these funds when it's already been passed? I mean, what would need to be offered?
They said on any program we come up with, they'll work night and day to help us to get an award. So we fill out the idiot forms, and they're all idiot forms. We fill them out, apply, take them down there and say, now help us. What are we doing wrong?
Do we need to hire a consultant to fill these out?
No, I heard David Warren right here say we would help. They would help.
They would help us.
You want to hire a consultant? I don't want to hire a consultant.
David Warren said that.
Okay.
Yes, he did.
They have people on staff that will make sure that these forms are
There
filled
you
out
go.
properly. Okay.
To me, if they're so difficult to fill out, why are we filling them out?
Well, it's the same as our tax forms, you know? There's not the average person can't fill out their tax forms.
Okay. All right. And then, is it going to help if we get support from Leavenworth and Lansing on this?
If they are not interested, fine.
Well,
is
is there a way to get them interested?
Well,
I know we got a court date coming up.
we gave them $12 million. That isn't interest.
Well, if we're going to do this, we need to do it right. I mean, to make sure.
We're dealing with Mark. We're not dealing with Leavenworth. We gave them $12 million. We gave Lansing $13 million. And if that isn't an incentive to say, you know, let's test this out. Let's find out, are we ever going to get something from Mark?
I just think that this would help us if we didn't fill this application out alone. If we had support from the other entities.
If we have to fill it out alone, then we have to. If they participate,
can they send? If we can at least get a letter of support from the
fine.
cities.
But we have to do the motion that we're going to approach Mark, and if we get the letter saying we would appreciate, Mark, if you do something for the county or do something for us. It's really for them and us and Lansing. But all of a sudden, the $97 million does not belong to the county. It doesn't belong to the county because we've already given away $10 million for 2 industrial parks. When
we're done. We're done with what we've
Yes.
said we were going to do.
And Leavenworth
for
got $5
economic
million,
development.
and Leavenworth's getting $7 million for the road, and Lansing's getting $7 million. They got $6 million over there. So Lansing's getting their share. If we go to 5 county commissioners, you're going to see that they're going to say, whoa, we want some of that money. They're not entitled to that money. They are not entitled. That was our formula that the state set up that gave us $97 million, gave Leavenworth $50 million, $30 million to Lansing, $20 million to Baser, and $15 million to, after we had already given them $5 million, and they're going to pay us at the end of the year, pay off the end of their debt with the money that we gave them, and that's fine.
It is?
No, it isn't fine.
No, it isn't fine.
We shouldn't have given them the $5 million. So, there's a motion and
Well, I think the $5 million is all right.
Well, yeah.
Maybe it's all right, but we should have put some stipulations on the $5 million.
You better believe
You do
it.
this project, we give you the money. You do this project, we give you the money.
Yes, we've been a little free.
Right.
So there's a motion and a second.
No, there's not a motion.
You want a motion? I thought I made a motion.
No, you were getting ready to.
Oh, it got ready to, and then there was a dissertation there. So I'm going to move that we,
Is that what you call that?
where's that idiot form?
Dissertation?
Yeah, dissertation.
Okay.
That we do the Mark funding scheduling process, which was number 3 on your information that you sent us on the Eisenhower Road project. And that is the utility location, submit to mark funding, advertise for bid, more award bid construction, and we proceed with that aspect. So that's my motion.
That's your motion?
Yes.
Second.
Okay. Been moved and seconded.
We're going to go ahead and go forward with utility relocation and everything.
That all goes, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it all proceeds forward.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye.
I wasn't done discussing. Does
Oh, you want some more discussion?
Yeah,
Oh, we're moving on.
how does this play into our upcoming court thing?
You know, I don't care about that. That's another situation.
Okay.
I could care less. I'm not in the game to buy and sell. Well, Leavenworth, if you do this for us, we'll do that for you. No, I'm not in that game.
We're in the game. We're a player.
Well, we're a player, but I'm
We're a
not.
player. So
The cards are on the table, and we'll see who has the highest cards.
and that is this month?
That is on one of these sheets.
It's October 23rd,
Yes,
Commissioner.
October 23rd. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'd like to wait till after that court deal to vote for
Well, I don't
this.
wait for after court deals anymore. We're already too late on something else we
Okay.
want to do.
All right, then, that's all I had.
Okay? And it was aye. How do you vote?
Nay.
Nay. Very good. Next one was Port Authority. I think we're wasting money on the Port Authority. Personal opinion. We've had them in here and they dissertated and said why they're so important. I think LCDC can do the same thing as the Port Authority. The value that Port Authority has, they can go out and borrow money. They're a quasi and all that other hogwash that goes along with society, quasi-government. So, but we give them, what is the figure, $150,000? Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Quarterly?
thereabouts.
Or is that's yearly?
Annually, yeah.
Annually.
We budget for, between the LCDC and the Port Authority, we budget approximately $260,000.
Right. So we give one 150, we give the other Port Authority 150. Port Authority keeps 50, they add to their $500,000, and they give the other 100 to the LCDC. I think it's an organization that has gone past its time. I was talking to a couple of businessmen yesterday. One of them said, yeah, there might be some value, and the other one said, no, he never has seen any value in it. So I think, and now we have a situation with the city of Leavenworth, and the city of Leavenworth has said, now, and I think that's interesting, city of Leavenworth. I want to thank our county administrator. When we ask him to do something, he gets the information to us. Now, I don't know why Louis Klemp would keep this paper. January the 10th, 2018. And on the front page, it said something about City of Leavenworth and Port Authority. And just the other day in the paper, now that was January the 10th. That's 10 months ago. And in the paper there was, well, we really haven't made a decision yet, and because council has to look it over. Now it takes 10 months for an attorney to look over something that they should have made a decision on a long time ago.
Are you talking about the expansion of the board, the members? What were you talking about? You're talking about January.
Yes, January the 10th.
Okay, were you talking about whether the legislature had to approve expanding the board of?
No, this was on the city was studying the Port Authority because we had questioned and then.
About us being the ones that appoint
Yeah.
the people. Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
okay.
jarring my memory here.
Yeah, that's right.
But I thought we were, when you said council, I thought we were talking about what it would take to expand board members of the Port Authority to have a representative from every city.
Representative from every city?
That's correct.
And money from
Easton,
every city.
Easton, Linwood, Tony, everybody gets a representative.
Easton kicks out their $5 and Linwood kicks out 10.
I thought that's what we were talking about.
What we're talking about is level. We can't disband it. We can disband it. Now it'd be another lawsuit because there's $500,000 sitting there, and City of Leavenworth will say, well, you know, we were half of this, so we're entitled to the $500 to $1,000, and then they would say, well, we're entitled to the property because we're half of this. And I guess Port Authority could exist on its own. I don't know. If we get out, can the City of Leavenworth? I don't know. I don't think they want to pay the bill. We're having a dissertation over that right now, that they don't want to pay the bill. So what I'm saying is we disband the Port Authority, or have staff come up with the information that it takes to disband the Port Authority, because we can't keep waiting for Leavenworth to make a decision. You may think it's important. I don't think it's important. We're debating over the fact we've already paid over $1 million, and they paid, what, $15,000, and they want to make a decision on whether we are going to appoint the people or they are. Or are we going to do it in combination? There haven't been any problems with that, but I don't like the fact that we pay the whole bill and they don't pay a cent. So to wait for them again, my God, 10 months, you can't make a decision? We don't have that problem. Now somebody's going to say, well, yeah, but you make a lot of mistakes. I don't think we make many mistakes. Throwing out the one lawsuit, hogwash, okay? So I think it's time to have staff look at us removing ourselves for either the next meeting or the following meeting, not 10 months of getting out of the Port Authority. What are all the pros and the cons? David will be involved there because he said, well, the city's going to sue. Okay, let the city sue. They seem to like to sue. So that is a suggestion that I would like to see done, is get out of the Port Authority, or to have the information brought to us about getting out of the Port Authority. And if that is a consensus, fine. Is that fine with you?
That I'd like to know the information.
Yeah. Do you want to be a yes or a no?
Well, yeah, I'm all for information. I'm getting that, but like I said, we've got these 2 industrial parks that are completed. I'd like to see.
But they're not ours.
I understand that, but as long as businesses can get in there,
They'll still
broadens our tax base.
They'll still be able to get in there.
Without the help of
I
Port Authority and LCDC?
I thought
No, I didn't say LCDC now.
Okay.
No.
I said Port Authority.
Okay.
Well, and I thought Tonganoxie was doing their own. Are they?
No, it's
or is
based.
the Port Authority helping them with it?
No, that's Tongi's Park alone. But
And I don't
if the Port Authority right now is trying to promote a spec building program.
That doesn't stop that.
Well,
We've been doing spec buildings all along. With whose money?
well, yeah, I know.
The county's
It's
money?
county's money. Yeah.
And the county, and them selling spots, and they get some money back from that. But it's all county money and Port Authority money, which is really county money. City of Leavenworth doesn't participate. They don't need to. It's not an infraction on their territory.
All right, so what you're asking for is information on whether you can disband the Port Authority.
Well, we know we can disband it. Whether we should with the information they're going to give us.
All right, and I'll go along with that as long as I can get an answer. Can you expand the representation of the Port Authority without legislative approval? Two parts. I attached some report to it.
That information, we already know that you can.
You can?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought there was, back in the last winter, I thought it was, we had took legislative approval.
Mr. Chairman, upon review, based upon the date that the current Port Authority was formed, the Port Authority is allowed to expand its membership within the county without legislative approval.
So we could put somebody on from Easton and Linwood and Tongi.
But at the same time you put that on, you need to put the price tag of what they're gonna pay. They need to be a participant. You gotta have something in the game.
Well, that's true, and like with this, and maybe Mark can help me out here because I think he's gone to a lot of these meetings on these spec buildings.
Right.
When the Port Authority wants to do the spec building, they're going to be asking the city to help participate on that, and I don't know how willing a city is going to be to participate if they don't have a vote on the board. That'd be my only concern if we don't have a representative from each town.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So, okay.
But I would be thinking that, hell, they gave us $5 million, that they're pretty easy to get along with. Tonganoxie should be saying, man, they are easy to get along with. We get
Done our part for economic development.
And that's what everybody should. Not everybody, because there is definitely a tendency in this world is what's in it for me. And I don't, for 9 years in this occupation, I've never got what's in it for me. Other than, so you will get that information for us?
Yes.
Okay. I've got a letter here on Fire District 1 again. Is anything going on that? They just gliding along, living in a daze? Where are they at?
Well, Commissioner, inasmuch again as the county's received no formal communications with respect to any consideration for the dissolution of Fire District Number 1, I think comment by this board at this time might be premature.
Yep. Okay. But we have a letter here that we received.
Isn't it a letter from their attorney?
It's a letter from the 2 townships attorney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we all got that.
But they're not. So, a lot of people aren't realizing it, and I've brought it up several times. And that was after talking to the county commissioners in the northeast part of the state when we had that meeting. Consolidation is going to be the only way that we're going to solve a lot of these situations. Whether it's schools, whether it's fire districts. I bet there's not another county that has as many fire districts. It's a pride thing, I can see it.
We only have one fire district. The rest are townships.
They're all fire districts. You know, they protect their fire chief, and we got Leavenworth and we got Fort Leavenworth. So, but consolidation is going to be the only way you're going to extend your money, because you have what, 6 superintendents of schools, counting Fort Leavenworth. I think it's 6, and they get at least $150,000 with fringes. So that's what, $900,000 for running the school district. And if you add all those people together, there's probably as many people in the city of Leavenworth or the city or the county, and the budget is as big as the school districts. But consolidation is only going to be the only way, and you put that down in quotes. And I don't know what year it's going to come, but people are going to say, we got to consolidate. We got to get rid of something. It won't be in the near future because this is a me time. What's in it for me? I want my road. I want my bridge. I want this. I want that. Somewhere you have to have 3 county commissioners, hopefully, that have always been. I've never dealt up here for 9 years. I knew one was a Democrat, but he didn't vote Democrat. And I loved it when I heard Kavanaugh. There's no line there and no line here. A Republican and an independent, and or what, I don't want to call him a Democrat because he's not a Democrat. I wouldn't do that to anybody. But there's no lines up here. We're county commissioners. I thought it was interesting in the paper. You got to appreciate Brian Maduska. God, I love him. He was way behind me in school, but you know, we were called bozos, or bozo 1, 2, and 3, and that's by Jeanette Lambie Holderman. God bless her heart, and been friends for years, and she's calling me a bozo. And she said instead of 3 bozos, we'll have 5 bozos. But he called us buffoons. And there in the same article, there's Jane Geese. She says, stand up like adults and show mutual respect. It's totally amazing what we have and what we don't have. There was an article about, again, expanding to 5. We're selling it on, it's now going to be $12,000 per commissioner, and there's going to be a lot of that we don't have today. We all deal with the whole county. It's not going to be the city of Leavenworth, but that's what it's going to be divided up to. It will be Easton and the north half of Leavenworth. It will be Leavenworth. It will be Leavenworth and Lansing. It's going to be, Leavenworth's going to get 2.5. So if you got a Leavenworth commissioner, that's not going to be good. So anybody that's going to do that better be thinking on what's going to happen to the county commission. This is a county commission. And don't take the salaries and divide them by 5, because as I said, there's going to be a pay increase. I doubt if anybody's going to go against a pay increase. Nobody knows what that is. And we're supposed to be getting all that data from all these counties, because I do have some sheets that show some of the counties, but I don't have all of them. I'd like as many as we can have just to show that you have smaller counties that get more money. You have larger counties. Johnson is $74,000 per commissioner and $79,000 for the president of the commission or the chairman. So there's a lot of different salaries here that are being paid out. And Manhattan, they get $43,750. That's more than we get. So it's interesting. This is not a part-time job. And anybody who's talking about it being a part-time job has never served up here. You need to check with your county commissioner to see what they feel about it. And there's only 2 of us not running, so we can give an honest opinion. And the third one will probably give an honest opinion because he's not running. But it's a full-time job. Wherever you go, somebody's bringing it up. We're talking about what's happening on this road, what's happening here, the fire district. Fire district comes up constantly, and yet they're not doing what they need to do, the fire district. They're not accomplishing what they're supposed to accomplish. If you want it disbanded, there's a procedure to go through, and they're not doing that. So it's another rumble, but people, wherever you go, especially in the Lansing and in the 2 townships, which is really just Lansing and High Prairie, they want to know what's being done. Well, nothing's being done because the townships or the city has not taken what its job is to get it disbanded and they take over their fire district. It's not disbanding, it's taking over their fire district, because I'm sure that fire district 2 townships. So, you know, it's totally amazing that we are not progressing because people aren't understanding what it is to be a county commissioner. If you'll get that data for staff, we can make some decisions here on other things we need to make decisions on. The Bigsby thing, where are we with that? And the human resource on the stolen property, or the property that's been removed from the, you don't have to comment on it right now if you don't want to, but we should be getting something to us here, removing the moratorium. I was told the other day it takes 90 days. See, it's too late for the removal of the moratorium. It doesn't take 90 days?
Commissioners, you could remove that at any time.
Okay.
The 90 days was, you had asked about rezoning, and I said it's rezoning.
Rezoning, there
requires
you
90
go.
days.
It'd take 90 days. Yeah, that's true. So I think that ought to be done. Let Tonganoxie do whatever they want down there. They need to get, you know, they're actually, and the only reason for rezoning, and I would have recommended if had 90 days, to rezone it to heavy industrial. Because you can go back to light, to commercial, but to go back and go forward, it's very hard to do. But there's people down there who don't want anything. God bless their hearts. They do not want a thing. They like it is. They got the road and they got their interchange. But let's don't change anything else. So the moratorium. In fact, I'll do that next week. I'm going to recommend that we remove ourselves from the moratorium. Remove the moratorium on County Road 1. Let's get on down the road. You got studies that are being done. Another study, another study.
And they'll be completed here.
The land use study goes to the Planning and Zoning Commission this month and will be on the
Yeah.
board's agenda the first part of November.
Yeah, so we're close
We're close to what?
to having a choice. What 2 options? They're going to present us with 2 options.
Mm-hmm.
We make one, we choose one of them.
Okay. Then at that time you can.
Then that time, then we should lift the moratorium.
Okay. At that time, that's a good time for you to. I'm just going to do the motion. I am tired of lack of progress because we got to have somebody study it. Just like our land. What the other one? Well, county road, county plan to proceed. Okay. There's only one thing we need. We don't need roads. We know that. We don't need. Huh?
We don't need roads?
No, we don't need that. We know we can take care of the roads. We don't need that in a plan.
Oh,
You need a plan for everything? You need sewers. Who doesn't understand you need some way to get the substance?
and that is part of our county-wide strategic plan.
For a Ford? I'm saying you put a treatment plant out there. Who's the best mover of land today in houses? Baser.
Yeah.
Come on, Baser, let's get together and let's put a goddamn sewage treatment plant out there where you can run it, and then the next one goes somewhere else and it ends up in Stranger Creek if the water's good.
Wolf Creek or Stranger Creek?
Yeah, Wolf Creek or Stranger Creek.
Okay, that's the only 2 options you got.
Well, you got Bonner
You're gonna
Springs.
run it all the way to Bonner?
Yeah,
I
you
don't
got-
think we can afford that either.
Yeah, but it's a long way to go to Stranger too.
Well,
But we just keep gliding along. You know, the 2 mills again, I had it written down again, for mental health. Why is that the county's responsibility? Nobody can answer that.
actually, that was part of a thing yesterday that I did not go to. I don't know if the sheriff or anybody went to that. The KAC is going to lobby the legislature to try to get money for mental health, to try to keep people out of the jail system
Right.
that need mental health treatment, and get some money funneled to the counties for that.
Very good. But that isn't us putting 2 mills on, and, well,
No.
that Doug Smith, I can remember when he voted for 2 mills.
No, you
to do
can't.
minute.
No,
I'm
you
just-
can't.
No, I'm just saying that out loud.
You use somebody
No,
else's
you're-
name. You can't remember Doug Smith ever
Okay,
voted for
okay,
2
Fred
mills.
Smith. Fred Smith sitting over there in your position, and Fred Smith said, "My God, I'm in favor of 2 mills. Let's increase instead of what are our mills today? Anybody know off the top of their head?
30,
35.
35.
35 or so.
Okay, so now it's 37, which is 500,000 over what they needed. Well, we'll just put that in a bank
Mr.
account.
Chairman, we can't make that decision. That would have to go before the voters. We are under a tax lid.
Right.
With that aspect, yeah, but we can come up with.
We gotta come up with the $30,000 to $50,000 for the ballot.
Yeah, we can get, but we can get.
But we cannot make that decision.
I understand that.
The voters would have to make that decision.
But do you think there wouldn't be a lobby for that? Yes, there'd be a lobby for that, because all the school
There'd
people,
probably be a
all the
lobby
cities would be
against it,
saying,
too.
let's let
I'd
the
say
county
there'd be
pay
a
for it.
lobby against it.
I think there'd be a lobby against it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would too.
it would be interesting.
But there's other ways to deal with that, like you said.
Remember when I brought up about mail-in ballots?
Yes, sir, I do.
I totally disagree. I don't want any mail-in ballots going out. If they can't get off their you-know-whats and come in and vote or apply for a goddamn mail-in ballot, now you're bringing in all the people that are coming across the border or wherever you're living, and they're going to be able to vote. And they don't have a concept of what's going on.
I want Saturday elections, Saturday voting.
Yeah. Court date I had down for the 23rd. Judge Brewer is going to make his decision by the end of the year. That's a good decision. We did discover the north-south boundary is Dempsey. It's not
Yes, sir.
Lansing, and it's not Fairmount. Last thing on a high note, after what a person is going to have to go through for a federal appointment to anything anymore, I watched 2 little girls looking up their dad. And if there was nothing satisfying out of anything that had to do with getting appointed to the Supreme Court, those 2 little girls looking up at their dad, how proud they were of their dad. We think we don't need two parents to a family. So I'll take a motion to do.
Move that we adjourn.
Second.
How do you vote?
Aye.
So I can get out of here.
Well, you said by noon.